Story just kind of wrap things up. So cable TV companies are in panic. Viewing flops, streaming continues soaring. But when I looked at this, it was kind of interesting. Just for this most recent quarter, streaming is profitable for the big places. I think it was Paramount, Netflix, Disney. Some of those are now profitable. And so I thought I'd read this because this is kind of interesting because people are moving away from TV to go to streaming. And then people are moving away from streaming, ironically, because the streaming companies keep upping the cost of everything. And now streaming is about as expensive as cable used to be. And so I think, yes, I think eventually as the boomers and everybody leaves us, I think TV, will just be gone. Streaming will take over, but more people are moving away from streaming now. And what they're moving to is things like X, the old Twitter, Rumble, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. They're migrating to things that are on mobile devices that can be checked on and streamed throughout the day. And people want little snippets. We're a country of ADHD or ADD, whatever. We're a country of I can't pay attention more than 3 minutes. And we're getting to that point where no one will sit down and watch longer content. That's why YouTube came out with shorts. That's why Instagram started doing the stories stuff. That's why TikTok does this stuff. Because people want something they can look at and, okay, here's 10 seconds, here's 10 seconds. Okay, now I need to get out of my Uber, or now I need to get off the train, or I'm stuck in traffic for a couple minutes. And people are just going for that stuff. So even the long form ones are going away. This is an article from business.com, the business section over at Axios. And I thought this was interesting because Axios is very left-leaning. And even they are kind of like, you know what? People are not on with Disney and this other stuff. They say Paramount Global on Thursday took a $6 billion write-down on its cable TV business the day after Warner Brothers Discovery did the same for $9 billion. If you remember, I did that story on CNN. Well, this is about the write-off, and there's other companies that are doing it, so it's not just CNN that is really struggling. They say why it matters. Both companies are struggling to convince Wall Street that their streaming bets will make up for those losses. Paramount's global stock tanked 12% in after-hours trading Thursday, despite posting a streaming profit for the first time. Warner Brothers Disney fell 9% to an all-time low after its earnings release. Paramount cable networks, including MTV, VH1, Comedy Central, and WBDs include HGTV Food Network and CNN. Anyway, they say between the lines, both companies were created as a result of mega mergers, yet neither are considered big enough to compete with big tech for streaming dominance. CBS merged with Viacom in 2019 to form Viacom-CBS, now Paramount. Warner Brothers merged with Discovery to form WBD in 2022. In the state of play, Paramount, which also said it would cut its U.S. workforce by 15% Thursday, said it's looking for a streaming partner, likely a big tech firm, to scale its Paramount Plus streaming service. I found this kind of interesting. So 15% of the workforce being cut from Paramount. They're just now reporting that they're finally positive in the revenue department. And I think part of that might be one of the last things that people probably cut is their cable and their streaming services, because it's more expensive to go out to eat. And if you go out to eat and it's $50 or $80 or $100 for one dinner out, I mean, hell, McDonald's is $15 or $20 now. People can say, you know what, I'll stop eating out as much, but I still want to watch my idiot box. I still want to watch my idiot box and all the stupid stuff on there. So it will slowly come down to, at some point, though, people are going to say, do I really need Netflix and Paramount and Disney and whatever? They say the company is slimming down ahead of its pending merger with Skydance Media. WBD had discussions with Paramount late last year to discuss a merger. While those talks didn't materialize, Wall Street isn't convinced that the firm has the scale necessary to compete on its own with a big tech for streaming dominance. Losing its longtime NBA rights to NBC last month only reinforced the lack of leverage the firm has to investors. WBD also announced 1,000 layoffs earlier this summer. The big picture: while cable is challenged, analysts believe there will be a loyal set of pay TV customers, around 50 million households, for the foreseeable future, thanks to cable networks like ESPN that still own live sport rights. This is the challenge, and I think this is also part of why the football viewership is down. I think it's on YouTube, and it might be on other sites, where you can still buy the NFL package, or you can buy an NHL package. And that's where you pay like $120 and you get all the NFL games and you can stream it. But I think what's happening is, as the older generation kind of ages out, the only thing that's propping them up in many cases are things like these sports, these pay customers, where people are like, I want to keep it for ESPN or the NFL or the NBA or baseball. But the problem with that is the viewership of those are going down as well. I think it was last year the NBA hit its lowest viewership in history, and the NFL was probably 2 years before that, where it was like around its lowest in history. It's because people are saying, you know what, I do like sports, but I can also, like, I want to watch college ball or maybe pro ball, but other than that, like, it's not enough for me to pay a $120 or $150 a month for a cable bill. They say despite WBD's efforts to invest in sports rights outside of basketball, losing the NBA package will cost a lot of leverage with cable distributors. Oh, that's something else too. UFC is going online. They now have the slap fight thing. Me personally, I don't watch the slap stuff that they have on Rumble. Because I find it weird to just watch. Maybe that's the epitome of tough guy, where you don't have to have any skill other than how hard can you take a slap to the face and not get knocked out cold. Me personally, that's not my thing. I do like the UFC, though. But UFC's moving online as well. They say what to watch, worried about losing any more confidence on Wall Street. Entertainment giants are raising streaming price to ensure their investments start to break even. And that's the problem. I've talked about this many, many, many times. If you have 1,000 people at $1 each, and that goes down to 500 people, to make the same money, it needs to be $2 each to make $1,000. If you go down to 333, you need to have $3 each. What's happening is people are moving away from Disney, Paramount, Netflix, the other ones, because they're starting to get too expensive. So as they lose the number of viewers, they have to keep raising the price to bring in the same amount of money, which chases off more people. Then they raise it more, which chases off more people. And eventually you're in a model that fails, especially since we're heading into, one could say, either a recession or a depression. We don't know which one it is yet. They said Paramount announced yesterday that its streaming arm posted a profit for the first time. Disney also posted a profit for the first time. And they both of them announced price hikes. The price hikes to Paramount in June is effective later this month. And I think this, let me mark this, I think this was written just August. When did she write this? August 9th. So that's yesterday. So later this month, Paramount is going to it's going to hike its prices. Disney also posted a profit. They're doing a price hike across Hulu, Disney, ESPN. That's going to be effective in October, meaning prices will have more than doubled since Disney rolled out the basic package. But they're raising the prices, and people can't afford it. And that's going to cause the market to consolidate more. Where will people go? People will go to TikTok. People will go to YouTube. People will go to Rumble. People will go to Twitter, where they can basically get that stuff for free. Now, they may not be able to get movies, but remember, everything's moving to the instant gratification thing. Young people do not have the capacity, as much as they used to, they're losing it very quickly, to sit down and watch something for half an hour or an hour. A lot of young people are just getting away from that too. So the prices are going to go up on this stuff. I looked up some stats, and here's what I found shocking. Here's the annual growth of YouTube users worldwide from 2016 to 2021. And as you can see, it is slowly falling off. It's shrinking away. So what I'm curious about is, where's everybody going? I have to assume TikTok or things of the like. What about Netflix? Here's Netflix subscribers. They've pretty much plateaued. It looks like about the fourth quarter of 2021, they're kind of plateaued. So they're not really growing like they were before. Rumble's growing very quickly. Year over year, revenue increased on Rumble by 64%. Estimated watching of about 10 billion hours, 10.7 billion hours. And so Rumble is growing quite quickly, it seems. They're more than doubling. So I think more people are moving over to Rumble. And I looked at Twitter, and Twitter has rebranded. They have 368 million monthly active users. So I don't know exactly where everybody is going. I don't know where they're going. I don't know if they know where they're going. Now, me personally, I cannot advocate for this, nor can I admit to sailing the high seas. But a lot of people have been sailing the high seas. And as younger people, although I will tell you something that I heard that was really weird the other day. And it wasn't like an official thing, but it was somebody that had gone around and did like a poll or a survey. And they were asking like different generations. Boomers don't know anything about computers. Ironically, it was Gen X and millennials that know the most about sailing the high seas and VPNs and using that stuff to do the deep dive on the interwebs. It was Gen X, the younger Gen X like myself, and the older millennials. But when it came to the youngest millennials and Gen Z, they weren't using VPNs. They weren't sailing the high seas because they didn't know enough about, because they're not on computers. Gen X has been on computers like pretty much since their inception. Millennials were on their computers a lot, but young people are only on their phones, so they don't know about using VPNs. They don't know about sailing the high seas. They don't know what torrents are or any of that stuff because they're on the frickin' phones all the time. But the youngest of the Gen X and the oldest of the millennials do, because I never touch my phone. As a matter of fact, right now, my business phone is off and my other one's been over here on the charger all day. And I have a message that I probably should have read and 2 emails. Oh, it's my mom. And she just says, I like the house. I just sent her a picture of my house. So I get one text from my mom and a couple of emails. I never touch my phone. Young people are glued to it. I know I've heard of young people having charge their phones 3 times a day. They're on, and they've got the newest, Apple products or iPhones or whatever. They got to recharge those things 3 times a day. They're on them so much. I'm like, how in the hell can you do that? God, I would absolutely hate to spend that much time on my phone.